Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Edward here, back with another weekly outlook. Welcome. Again, if you are watching this for the first time, I recommend you subscribing, give it a big thumbs up, and just make sure to activate your notification bell so you're alerted once I post this videos every Sunday. So you could have an idea of what bias we're going to have for the upcoming week. Alrighty. And I normally I trade mainly Nasdaq, trade indices mainly, especially Nasdaq. Um, I do analyze Bitcoin, gold, and currency pairs. Okay. I'm going to show you what are my favorite currency pairs for this week as well, in case you do Forex. And so let's get started. All right. Starting obviously here with the dollar index to sort of kind of like to have an idea how strong or weak the dollar is looking. And that can give you also, a sort of like a bias for currency pairs. And they are paired to the dollar, the US dollar, so that can give you an idea. So starting here from the weekly, let's go ahead and I don't know, by the way, if you saw the video I posted last week, the last week outlook, I was telling you guys that I was expecting price to go towards this low. Let me go back on the weekly, and I'm gonna remove this candle right there. So this candle right there was telling me how it closed, was telling me that we're expecting this entire week, for price to go towards this low, at least towards this low, based on how we close. How is that? Well, the candle right here tried to push higher above this previous candle high, and we had a failure. Look at this strong rejection. Body of the candle never closed above. So that's telling me, and especially because the candle is bearish, it's telling me that the probabilities are for price to displace lower this next week and respect this high. So this high should be respected and this low should be taken. So when we go to the daily, I was explaining you this last week, last Sunday, right? And I marked up these lines right here, telling you that I was expecting these lows to be taken. And notice what happened during the week. Price did end up going to that weekly low. So you can see how we close now, right? Now, I'm gonna clean all of this. So I'm gonna start fresh, right? I'm not gonna go on the monthly because the monthly is still running. However, that pin bar right there, how we close on January, right, is telling me how we're probably gonna close or where price is gonna be displacing on February, on this current month that is running, right? We're expecting these lows to be taken. That has been taken already. I don't know. We probably are gonna target this internal liquidity, which is that monthly fair value gap. We could try to target that in lower time frame. Let's go to the weekly now. So on the weekly, notice, right? We failed to close above this previous high. We closed bearish. This current week, the week that just closed this Friday, we closed like that. We closed below this low. We have displacement lower. We have a body of the candle closing below this low. What is that telling me? Well, I'm expecting price to continue its direction to the downside. So dollar index, bearish. I'm expecting bearish continuation. If I go to the daily time frame right here, we see pretty much a break of a structure right there, whatever you want to call it. Break, it is a break. It is a break anyways of a structure to the downside. And I like this daily fair value gap right here. We could use that. And probably if price does something like this, boom, you could be looking for sales in this zone, trying to target that low, right? That's the weekly low, right? Or in consequence, we could be targeting that monthly fair value gap that I marked up there, right? So notice the failures. Notice that price was creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs until this moment. We're failing now. We keep creating lows. So this is the last high. We have a shift in the structure. Price is failing to create a new high and creates a low instead. So you see, we're probably expecting price to do a little pullback. I don't know if we can have a rejection there. It'll be nice. Or we could even go a little higher. I don't know. We probably even manipulate that high to then drop. It could be like that, you know. So, but that's the direction. I am bearish for the dollar index for this upcoming week. All righty. So let's see what we can get in lower time frame. If we're gonna have a pullback after this recent break, right here, it's a very strong move. Probably pulling back to this area. Let's go ahead and set some alerts there and see once the price gets into the zone, I'll be, paying attention to it, see for continuation, even though the dollar index, like we cannot trade this, but this is just an idea, right? Where it's going to be going. So that's basically it. I'm going to go on Nasdaq right now to show you how we finally are pushing to the upside. Notice here on the weekly time frame, looks like we're finally trying to get out of this ugly consolidation or accumulation. We've been there for a couple of weeks, couple months now. Notice that we close above, right? This week that just closed. Notice that we don't have at all a week at the bottom right there. There's no week at all. I don't like that because we might actually come and take this low. There's no manipulation of this low. If you notice, every single week, every candle has a week. Almost all the time, at least a little one. Very rarely there isn't. And when there isn't, price will eventually go for those. It's very rare. Like I'm just trying to see which of these candles does not have a week. But literally you can go and you see there's almost all of them, right? But this one did not. So it's kind of weird, it's rare. So anyways, let's go lower time frame now. I'm going into the daily time frame. I like how we close on the daily time frame, right? We have close above this high. That's the weekly high. Now we have a fair value gap. At daily, I want to mark up that one in case we might actually pull back on maybe Monday. I don't know, probably pulling back, then looking for a continuation if that's the scenario, right? I'm gonna leave that as one. Right, so I'm gonna mark it up as the daily, and I'm gonna leave it there. I'm going to the 4-hour time frame right now. Of course, we're just displacing. This is a big push movement to the upside. So from here, probably on the 4-hour, there's something that could happen also. This recent push, like if you notice the structure right here, this little internal, we have a high, low, higher high, right? Which is high, higher high. So expecting price to, after taking external liquidity, expecting to pull back to take internal liquidity, which is that 4-hour fair value gap, and then expecting expansion to the upside. So, we in this recent impulse, we have a fair value gap somewhere here, right? And let's see if we're going to come back for that internal, right? Since we swept external liquidity, I'm going to go now to internal liquidity, which is that imbalance, this imbalance right here. That's in the 4-hour time frame. There you go, 15-minute. Of course, we need to wait. We just need to wait. Of course, I'm going to be setting alerts right there, but that's something that would have to happen on Monday. I don't trade London session. I don't trade Asian session. I trade New York session, the morning session, especially the morning session. And I don't trade S&P 500. However, I use S&P as because it's correlated to Nasdaq, I use it to spot divergences. That's the only way I use S&P. I rarely enter on S&P. Most of the times, I'm just looking for divergences using S&P. Other than that, just only Nasdaq. Okay. Hope it makes sense. Let's go on gold right quick and see what it did, because gold has been flying up crazy, right? I'm going to clean some of this stuff right now because I have too many things in the chart and I don't want to confuse you. So here we go. Clean some of this stuff. All the stuff. It's been incredibly bullish, right? As you can look at this trend right there. If I go on the weekly, look how many weeks. 7 weeks. Pumping up like crazy, right? Now, this past week, how did we close? We have, for the first time in a long time, in 7 weeks, we have a failure. Candle failed to close above this previous high. What is that telling me? Well, there's a slight chance we might have some sells. We might have some, maybe price will try to drop lower towards this weekly. I'm going to mark up this weekly low, all right? Although I would love to see gold continue pushing up, I think we're going to go for this lows. And what is also, what's the thing that is also below this low? Can you see it? Huge weekly fair value gap now, right? So probably what I'm expecting for, since this kind of closed bullish, I want to see if we get probably a pullback, price to tap into this psychological level. And then from here, it can gain strength, right? And then push back up. Let's go on the daily. Notice on the daily, right? This is the weekly low. That I think price is going to go for it first, right? So notice right here, the price created this high. Sorry for that. My daughter just came into the room. All right. So notice the daily candle. We failed to sweep this high. Gold was pushing nice to the upside. It formed a nice pin bar right here. It turned up. We had a shift in the structure right here, pushed up. But then we had a failure, swept this high, and then all of a sudden we had a big crash closing below this previous high. So we have a failure to the upside and then close below. What is that telling me? That we're expecting price to go lower. So this is a daily low, right? So gold, as we go lower, now I'm going to go on a 4-hour time frame. Notice how strong this drop was, right? Notice the size of the candle. If you go in the past, for the past 7 weeks, I'm sure you have not seen a drop like that in 7 weeks. Pushes to the upside, yes, but a drop like that size, we have not seen it. So this is telling me that we're probably shifting a little bit, or we're either going to enter on a range, or we are going to be dropping for a little bit. It's being strongly bullish, so it's normal for price to pull back. I mean, I'm telling you, it's about time, because it's been so crazy bullish. So with that being said, now on the 4-hour time frame, we have this huge fair value gap right here. So what do I want to see? I want to see in 4-hour, in lower time frame, I want to see price probably pull back here, maybe tap into the zone, and then continue towards the weekly low, right? Which is kind of the idea. I know there's a big chance for price on gold that's going to go towards this weekly low. It's a very, very big chance. We have very big chances. So this is why I'm a bit more bearish now on gold, at least for the beginning of the week. For the first 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, we'll see what price is going to be doing right there. All right. So bearish on gold. Let's go to Bitcoin before we jump into currency pairs. And I want you guys to see Bitcoin at the moment. It is struggling so much, so hard right now. Is almost zero movement. There's almost, let's mark it off from here. We've been ranging right now, right? It's almost seen like it's waiting for something, like Bitcoin is, or the people who is normally buying or selling Bitcoin, they're just waiting for something. What would that be? Probably fundamentals, right? Something that president would say, right? Donald Trump, something that would happen in the world, in the planet, I don't know. But notice how we closed last week. This is the current week. We still have, well, because by the time I'm recording this on Saturday. So we still have a day and 7 hours for this weekly candle to close. Notice the past week, we failed to close below. That's telling me that we're probably expecting this weekly highs to be taken. Right? However, notice how we have not moved this week at all. Very slow, right? It's been very, very slow this week. Zero, almost no movement at all. Barely. Okay. So for Bitcoin, right now, it's difficult to say. I'm thinking, I would love to see Bitcoin, of course, push up, but I'm thinking right now that Bitcoin may even go back down to 80K, you know? There's a big skyrocket right here between 70 and 90. There's a whole huge imbalance right here or inefficiency. What is that huge gap right there, right? So you remember this gap before? Notice how deep we went into this gap, this imbalance, for a couple of months before we skyrocket. So, hey, you see this huge gap again? So we're going to be here for a couple of months, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in here into this area before even the next bull run. So it's possible, it's very possible, but we could go all the way down to 80. Like the way I'm seeing it right now, this slow, we're probably going to be chop for a little bit. Unless some big fundamentals, again, president says something in specific, right? And it will crash. Or price will try to go back to the 100 and then, I don't know, Warren Buffett, you know, some millionaires are going to start selling from here. And you're going to see what's going to happen. You're going to see a big spike to the downside, a big drop almost instantly from 100K to 90K. That's going to cause an avalanche, you know, fear. A lot of people will be like, shit, this is it. Bitcoin is going to die. So everybody's going to be selling it. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to see probably a quick drop below 90K. So, you know, so at the moment, stationary is not moving that much. It's a slow. What I can say is, hey, if Bitcoin drops to 90, it's a good position to buy. If it drops all the way to 80, even better, you know, to buy from here. One thing for sure is not panicking when it's crashing. Not going to be selling Bitcoin when it's crashing. Hold like a man. I have to hold, you know, just hold, and then you actually buy when it's cheap. Don't panic. Remember, big guys like Warren Buffett, you know, these big millionaires, they buy when there's panic. When everybody's panicking, they buy. When there's greed, when you're actually buying from here, when there's people that, oh, price, Bitcoin reached 110,000. Oh my God, I'm going to buy. When there is greed and you want to buy from here, which is very crazy, stupidly expensive, that's when Warren Buffett or big guys are going to be looking to sell instead, right? So don't do the opposite, all right? So anyways, the only 3 pairs that I got for this week is GBP USD, AUD USD, and Euro AUD. I don't have, after checking all of them, I didn't see too much that I like. I'm showing you the ones that they have the best, probably, let's say, bias or direction or strong direction for the week, for the entire week. So I'm giving you an insight of what I believe of these pairs on the weekly basis, not just on one day. It's on the weekly basis. So right here, you can see GBP USD, what happened recently, right? Recently, um, this is this week that just happened, that just went through. We closed above this high. We're strongly bullish. We're expecting that weekly high to be taken on Monday, probably on Monday. We're expecting this low to be respected. Okay. So let's see if we happen to go towards, maybe it seems like price wants to look for highs. So let's see if we do go for that buy side liquidity right there. Right. This is how it's looking. Notice how nicely we respected this fair value gap on the weekly time frame. Love this pin bar right here. Next candle, boom, closing to the upside. If we go to the daily, I'm loving it. On the daily right here, I love this break of a structure to the upside, right? And hold on, let me mark it up like this so you can see this is a break of a structure to the upside, right? Price just swept external liquidity, and now we created internal liquidity, which is this fair value gap on a 4-hour time frame. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price. Let's see if we do that. If we see price actually do that, we pull back and then we go here, right? How many pips we can get from here to here? About 100 pips, 110 pips. On a currency pair, that's a lot of pairs. I mean, that's a lot of pips. I'm sorry. That's a lot of pips. So when you go on a 4-hour, right? This is what we're seeing. We have a recent structure, right? We have a recent push from the lowest point to the highest point, right? So we'll probably price could even go all the way down a little deeper to discount, right? But expecting definitely price to pull back so we can get a chance to target that weekly high, which is an almost guaranteed type of target. You know what I mean? So this is why I am strongly bullish. I'm expecting this lows to be respected unless there is some big fundamental that will cause markets to crash. Like what? Monday, we have no news. On Tuesday, we do have President Trump speaking. We don't know the time yet, but let's see what's going to happen there. Then we have FOMC minutes, and then, well, pretty much the rest. I don't think these are going to be a big deal. However, they may affect, right? They are red folder news. So that's the direction right there that I'm expecting. All right. So next pair to watch right here, it's going to be odd USD. Let's go to odd USD here. And this is definitely one of my favorites. Why? Especially because we just swept an old low liquidity right there, right? So notice what we have. We swept this low one more time at sell side right there. And then notice the reversal entirely. We close above. So this candle, this past week, we closed above this previous candle high, right? So what is my expectation? I'm expecting price to go towards that weekly high. Okay, so I'm going to mark it up like that. That's the target I'm expecting. Let's go to lower time frame. I'm going to go, let's see how this looks on a 4-hour. Here we go. So on a 4-hour, we have that recent push right there. Let's see daily. So we do have a little gap right there, but this is going to be tricky, but probably be waiting for price to pull back. Yeah, we don't have a much bigger fair value gap, but I'll mark this one up, just this little one right here. There is a chance. It's a small. I'm not a fan of this type of imbalances right here. Very small, but that's the highest. That's on the daily. And that's about 50% before the push. You know, I think we are in discount. Yeah, we're in discount. So I'm definitely expecting, I'll be setting some alerts. I want to see, ideally, I want to see price pull back, get somewhere here, changing the state, and then we can target that weekly high. Okay. Something like that. This is what trying to look for. So I'm going to add an alert, and I'll just wait for price to pull back. Because the higher time frame right there, right, is telling me these highs are going to be taken. I mean, they should be taken first, and this low respected. So I want to see if we can get a continuation. Daily time frame looks very strong as well. So the daily candle high, I'm definitely expecting this size. Hopefully, what I don't want to see, of course, is as soon as the market opens, they immediately take the high right away. You know, I don't want to see that. If it happens, well, whatever, we'll look into another pair. But this is what I want to see. I would like to see that pullback here to give me a chance to be looking for entries, right? Let's go to Euro odd right here. Let's see how this is looking on the weekly. Because this candle, I like how the candle closed in particular. I like how this candle closed, right? One of my favorite type of candles. However, this week we had some gaps in there. There's a gap, by the way, in there. But notice that we failed to take this low. There is a failure right there. And the candle retraced back up and closed bullish. So I'm expecting price. I'm going to mark up this weekly high. Right? And I'm expecting price to displace to those highs. So let's go to the daily. When I go to the daily, notice right here that we have created this daily fair value gap. So the price is currently sitting right there. So I would love to buy, but I need to see a setup, right? Now, literally price is in position at this point. We are in position because price is tapping that daily. Is it daily? Yeah, that's a daily fair value gap. So my job is in lower time frame, find the entry somewhere here, which it gets tricky, right? Some sort of manipulation right here, probably something like this, changing the state of delivery, and then we can try to target these highs. So definitely expecting price to give me a chance to hop in this position to go long. For this week, we are in position. So I mean, when I say we are in position, is the price is already tapping the fair value gap in the higher time frame. So if you get a setup to buy, you could try and go long. If you don't get a setup, then why would you be buying if you don't have a setup? You know what I mean? So hope it makes sense. This is what I'm expecting. And it looks a little weak. Still looks a little weak, to be honest, but because of all this right here, the way I'm seeing it is like, notice this big range that there's a double top as well, you know, that I would probably like to target this liquidity to the upside. So the way I'm seeing it is there was a big ass range, right? We just manipulated the range and price came up very quick to the upside, you know? So this is an accumulation. Apparently, we just had a manipulation of these lows, of this support right here, right? And price is probably now ready to go towards these highs to sweep this liquidity to the upside. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution to the upside. That's what I'm seeing, you know? So let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree. If you don't, I'd like to hear your comments. And to hear all of your comments, guys. If you appreciate this content, all you have to do is just give it a thumbs up. You know, you're helping me already with that. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please subscribe. If you want to be part of my free community, go ahead and join my Telegram group, join my Instagram. If you want to join my private community, just visit my website, teamprofitsenglish.com. You'll find out there what I'm actually doing. I trade live with my students every Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. On Zoom, you can see me trade live. All right. Much better than just getting signals. It's better to learn than just getting signals. So hope it makes sense. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.